If she's asked to, Desiree Garcia is ready to face the man who raped and sodomized her years ago. She's become empowered over that life-changing event. In fact, she's now a candle in a dark room for other survivors.
There were over 200 pictures of child pornography on his phone, his computer, and I believe his apartment.
Those child pornographic pictures got John Travis Rains arrested in July, but he's well known by authorities. He was convicted of sexually abusing an 8-year-old over several years and sent to prison before he was paroled. Desiree Garcia survived those sexual attacks, but police told her Rains is after her again.
And he said, every single picture had your face cut out and put on it.
According to charging documents, Rains had photoshopped Garcia's face onto actual images of child pornography.
You know, it was hard, I'm not gonna lie. To know that I was being re-victimized again by the same person was really triggering.
It brought back memories of when she was facing years of sexual abuse by Rains. She remembers being terrified of him when she tried testifying in court. As a teen, she couldn't speak. She left in tears. It's different this time.
I had to remember why I was doing what I was doing.
Garcia now has a Facebook and a website called A Candle in a Dark Room. Over the years, she's overcome her own anxiety and shares her story with others.
Hey guys, this is Desi.
On her podcasts, she again tells of her own experience, but also features stories of other victims who want to talk about their lives. All this in hopes of empowering people.
And that's what my job is to kind of help walk them through it, to gain their power back, to basically look their perpetrator in the eye and say, I'm safe, you can no longer hurt me, and you are going to pay for what you did to me.
And she no longer fears facing Rains in a courtroom.
He took my past, my childhood, but I won't let him take my future, not anymore.
This incredibly disturbing conduct at hand, especially because the victim in this case has been pulled back into a place that she doesn't want to be and where she doesn't deserve to be. I would just note for the record that some of the child sex abuse imagery Mr. Rains has admitted to possessing as part of his plea is not the type of child sex abuse imagery that sex offenders are typically accused of possessing. Some of these images had been digitally altered to depict the victim who was a victim of attempted sex abuse crimes committed by the defendant when she was a juvenile. This type of behavior is beyond imaginable, and we do feel like the stipulated sentence reflects the appropriate punishment. I'd like to submit on that and then yield the rest of my time to the victim.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And who do we have here?
It is Miss Garcia. If you can have her unmute her microphone.
There we go. Okay.
Yes, this is Mrs. Garcia. Okay, sorry, 1 second. Dear Judge, I'm writing this letter in regard to John Travis Rains. I am the original and current victim of John. John was my stepfather from age 7 to 15, and he sexually abused me almost daily from age 8 to almost 15. He also physically abused me as well as emotionally abused me, including threatening me. When John was convicted, sentenced, and spent 10 years in prison. When John was released in 2015, I tried to plead with the court to keep him in because John constantly made it clear to me for years that if it was his choice, he would never let me go. I was scared for my life, but he was still released. From the moment John was released, I knew and felt like I was in danger. The last couple of years, I had contacted John's parole officer because I had several different situations that led me to believe that he was around. But instead of a response, even an acknowledgement, I heard nothing in return. I was promised by the court system that I would remain safe until I got the call in July 2019. A detective called and confirmed everything I had felt and known and was discredited for the last couple of years. When I was told pictures of my face were cut out and put on hundreds of pictures of innocent children, I was sick, angry, and validated. I had been pushed to believe and think that my PTSD and trauma was making me feel and believe things that weren't real, except they were. All of my fears were confirmed and correct that day. John had hundreds of pictures of me. I was his screensaver on his phone, and when he was asked by police who I was, he stated I was his current girlfriend. A complete delusion that John made up in his own world. A world where I still belonged to him, and he wouldn't let me go. I'm sick that even after 15 years, he got the opportunity to reoffend me because he was not checked on like he was supposed to be and like I was promised. I was in danger for years because the justice system has failed me. My children and family were in danger. From the words of the detective that caught John, quote, "We don't know what his intentions were, but things could have gone much worse if he hadn't have been caught with the child pornography. I have worked for the past 10 years to get my life where it is today. I am an advocate for other survivors as well as a counselor and crisis worker, and I am a podcaster to raise awareness on men like John to help survivors like me." So, after years of healing through my trauma and finally being in recovery, you can imagine the impact that this has had on me the last year. What he has recently done has not only affected me, but it has made a huge impact on my family, especially my brother, who is unfortunately John's son. I also lost my father to cancer at age 49 3 months ago, a key protector and strength in my life. All of these events have happened in the last year. All of these events that have happened in the last year have triggered my mental health and the progress I have worked so hard for. My PTSD has been triggered. I've had panic attacks and sleepless nights worrying about the safety of my son, but specifically my daughter. The truth is, this is why victims are scared to tell their truth. We are promised justice and safety, but we are failed on a regular basis. I ask that you do what should have been done the first time and lock this man up for life, because clearly he has no intentions of changing. In fact, he seems to be more delusional, in my opinion, worse than even before, with no intention of ever leaving me alone or other victims like in this current situation. John, what you did to me was wrong. You could have got out of prison and worked towards having a life, but instead you chose to victimize me again and other children. You are sick, delusional, and deserve to spend the rest of your life locked away. I hope you never have the opportunity to hurt another child. You may think that you hurt me, controlled me through this situation, but you didn't. Instead, you fired me up more than before to fight for not only myself, but for other victims who have been hurt by people like you. I also have my amazing family and a husband who is always there and will always protect me. You have no power over me or my life anymore. I have my power now. You have tried to take my past and you took my childhood, but you will not take my future.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. I appreciate very much what you've had to say here today, and I'm really impressed by your strength and your resolve. And
the fact that you have been able to, in ways, move past this and become a representative for other victims is just personally something that I think is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
It's my job. It's what I do. It's the reason why I got into this field is that I am so sick and tired of the way that the justice system treats victims, and that people get away with horrific crimes.